Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NTD Tonight. I'm David Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's top stories. Special Counsel Robert Hur testified before Congress today. More on what he had to say about President Biden. A Boeing whistleblower is confirmed dead. He had been involved in lawsuit against the plane maker. Gender identity discussions are allowed in Florida classrooms. A recent settlement cleared up confusion stemming from a controversial law. First up, today, Special Counsel Robert Hur testified before Congress on his report about President Biden. Special Counsel Hur spoke in front of the House Judiciary Committee about Biden's handling of classified documents and his conclusions about Biden's memory.
Joe Biden kept classified information, and Joe Biden failed to store classified information properly. Mr. Hur made these determinations after interviewing 147 witnesses. He examined 7 million documents, including emails, text messages, photographs, videos.
Viewed the president and asked him about his recorded statement. Quote, "I just found all the classified stuff downstairs," end quote. He told us that he didn't remember saying that to his ghostwriter. He also said he didn't remember finding any classified material in his home after his vice presidency. And he didn't remember anything about how classified documents about Afghanistan made their way into his garage. My assessment in the report about the relevance of the president's memory was necessary and accurate and fair.
Under questioning from Representative Adam Schiff, Hur repeatedly said politics played no part whatsoever in his decision-making and that he was tasked only with writing a confidential report for the Attorney General.
You could have chosen just to comment on the president's particular recall vis-a-vis a document or a set of documents, but you decided to go further and make a generalized statement about his memory, didn't you?
Congressman, I could have written my report theoretically in a way that omitted references to the president's memory, but that would have been an incomplete and improper report.
Hur said he did not exonerate Biden nor conclude in his report that Biden was senile. Hur's report last month did not charge Biden with a crime, but he painted a picture of a forgetful commander-in-chief who failed to protect sensitive information. The report found that Biden willfully retained classified information, including top-secret documents, and that he knew he possessed some documents as far back as 2017. Top Democrats called Hur a Republican hitman, even though Hur was appointed as the special counsel by current Attorney General Merrick Garland. Some Democrat lawmakers drew contrast with Biden's rival, former President Trump's handling of classified documents.
I think what really matters here about this whole kerfluffle is that at the end of the day, former President Donald Trump is facing 40 felony counts in a federal action because of his mishandling of federal classified documents, while President Joe Biden has been cleared.
Trump responded on Truth Social, quote, "Big day in Congress for the Biden documents hoax. He had many times more documents, including classified documents, than I or any other president had. The DOJ gave Biden and virtually every other person and president a free pass. Me, I'm still fighting." The testimony comes as another round of states hold primary contests today. Both Biden and Trump expected to secure enough delegates to clinch their parties' respective nominations. Georgia, Mississippi, Washington, and Hawaii are holding primary contests today as Biden and Trump march toward a November rematch. The candidates will be closely watching Georgia for signs of how voters in the battleground state are responding to their message and campaign efforts. A Pew Research Center poll in January found Black Americans, while make up almost a third of the Georgia voters, are divided over Biden's performance in office. About 49% of Black adults disapproved, while 48% approved. Camelia Moore, chairman of the Black Republican Council, says the Biden administration's lack of solutions for issues affecting the Black community has created an opportunity for Republicans.
Under this administration, the Black community has, in terms of getting solutions to their problems, a lot of them are not quite sure that Biden is the answer.
Many are forecasting a decline in Black voter turnout in the upcoming 2024 election. Atlanta resident Maurice Combs feels jaded by past experience.
We get tricked a lot and constantly because you need us to get over the edge, and once we get you over the edge, and then everybody go back to normal.
The latest Real Clear polling averages show Trump with a 6-point lead over Biden in Georgia. Both Biden and Trump will likely emerge as the presumptive nominees tonight, although neither will officially become the nominee until the national conventions vote this summer. Also today, the Israeli Defense Forces provided an update on a hostage. Itay Chen is a U.S.-Israeli dual citizen who was believed to have been taken hostage on October 7th. The Israeli military announced that Chen was killed in an October 7th Hamas terrorist attack, and his remains were taken to Gaza. Chen was a soldier in the Israeli military and was serving on the border with Gaza when the attack happened. He was one of the 6 U.S. citizens thought to have been held alive in Gaza. Hamas is believed to be holding his remains alongside the remains of 3 other U.S.-Israeli dual citizens. President Biden reacted to the news, saying he is devastated to learn of Chen's death. More troubling news amidst a series of recent flight incidents involving Boeing aircrafts. A Boeing whistleblower is confirmed dead in what South Carolina officials are calling a suicide. The Charleston County Coroner's Office said the man died from what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. 62-year-old John Barnett had been involved in a lawsuit against the plane maker Boeing. He was found dead in a vehicle on Saturday, the same day he was scheduled to appear in court. Barnett worked for 30 years at Boeing as a quality control engineer before retiring in 2017. He recently became a vocal critic of the company's safety and production quality practices. At the time of his death, he was a key witness in a whistleblower lawsuit against Boeing. Barnett claimed the company retaliated against him for repeatedly reporting defects. In a recent live-streamed interview, Barnett raised concerns about Boeing's quality control issues, specifically within the 737 and 787 aircraft programs. Boeing expressed its condolences but did not comment on the allegations made by Barnett. Florida teachers are once again allowed to discuss sexual orientation and gender identity freely in classrooms following a recent settlement. NTD's Christina Corona gives an update on the controversial bill.
Florida officials and civil rights attorneys reached a settlement on Monday regarding the Parental Rights in Education Act, which critics dubbed as the Don't Say Gay bill that was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis in 2022. The recent decision allows students and teachers in Florida classrooms to discuss sexual orientation and gender identity freely, as long as it's not part of formal instruction. This addresses confusion stemming from the law, which prohibited instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through the 3rd grade. The settlement clarifies that LGBTQ discussions are allowed and ensures the protection of anti-bullying rules, as well as the formation of gay-straight alliance groups. Ron DeSantis' office hailed the settlement as a major win, asserting that the law will remain intact. Meanwhile, the legal battle between Disney and DeSantis appointees over control of Walt Disney World's government continues, with a hearing scheduled for July 25th in Orlando. Disney alleges that the governor's actions were retaliatory for the company's opposition to the Parental Rights in Education Act. Governor DeSantis supported this law and had allegedly criticized Disney during his 2024 presidential campaign, which he halted earlier this year. Despite a federal judge's dismissal of Disney's free speech lawsuit in January, the company is appealing the decision. Christina Corona, NTD News.
Speaking of Disney, Disneyland in California is planning for a major expansion for more immersive attractions, but the company would still need approval from the city.
Walking through the frosty, snow-covered hamlet of Arendelle from Frozen, or the bustling, critter-filled metropolis of Zootopia, might be possible one day for visitors to Disney's California theme parks. That's only if Disney wins approval from local officials to expand its Anaheim resort over the next 4 decades. The proposed expansion wouldn't increase Disney's 490-acre footprint in Southern California or change what the company already has permission to build. but it could help the company develop new attractions. They could place rides and entertainment options on what is currently a sprawling 50-acre parking lot and move parking for Disneyland to a multi-story structure, all while keeping within the boundaries of a resort surrounded by residential neighborhoods. According to Disney's Senior Vice President of Global Development and Finance, we know what kind of stories we would love to tell. We need to get guidance on what we can build there so we can understand how. The project would require Disney to invest at least $1.9 billion in the theme park, lodging, entertainment, and related uses over the next decade. It still must be approved by the City Council before taking effect. Disney's goal is to create what it calls more immersive experiences for tourists, similar to the attraction Star Wars: Galaxy's Edge, which opened in California in 2019. The company said it doesn't yet know which stories would be central to the new developments, but the idea is to create areas like Zootopia in Shanghai Disneyland, where animal characters walk through a vibrant cityscape that resembles the setting of the film. It's the first time Disney has sought a major change to its California theme parks since the 1990s, when the company obtained approvals to turn its first park into a resort hub.
We'll take a short break now, everybody, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come back. Taco Bell plans to close some of its indoor dining areas in one Northern California city. Find out the reason behind the decision. The Oakland Athletics revealed renderings of their proposed stadium in Las Vegas. We'll take a look at the design. Those stories and more coming up on NTD Tonight. Welcome back to NTD Tonight. I'm your host, David Zhang. In Northern California, Taco Bell is closing the indoor dining area for some of its restaurants in one Bay Area city. The reason being, it wants to ensure their employees and customers are safe from rampant crime.
All of Oakland's Taco Bell locations are closing indoor dining due to the surge in robberies and crime. According to the Daily Mail, the fast food chain will switch to drive-through and cashless payments only. There are a total of 5 restaurants in the city. In a statement to NTD, Taco Bell said, providing a safe environment for team members and customers is the priority at Taco Bell restaurants. The franchise owner and operator has informed us that they are consistently evaluating and working to ensure a safe environment by implementing procedures such as closing dining rooms and hiring security guards, and they have taken extra measures to meet with local law enforcement. Back in December, Tuan Go, a local public safety activist, told California Insider Opinion that residents are fed up with all the crime.
If you walk down the streets of Oakland, you could see the dysfunction, from the homelessness to the drug problem to the crime. It's just endless.
The only In-N-Out restaurant in Oakland announced in January it will close for similar reasons. The company said both their customers and employees are regularly victimized by car break-ins, property damage, theft, and armed robberies.
Airbnb said it will no longer allow properties that use indoor security cameras to be listed on their site. The new policy affects all hosts globally. NTD's Jason Blair reports.
The homestay rental company made the announcement on Monday. Outdoor cameras are still allowed as long as their general location is disclosed in the listing and they aren't pointed at indoor locations or spaces like outdoor showers. Doorbell cameras and noise decibel readers will still be permitted. Airbnb said the new policy only affects a small percentage of listings, as most do not report having indoor security cameras. Juniper Downs, Airbnb's head of community policy and partnerships, said in a statement, quote, "Our goal was to create new clear rules that provide our community with greater clarity about what to expect on Airbnb. These changes were made in consultation with our guests, hosts, and privacy experts, and we'll continue to seek feedback to help ensure our policies work for our global community." Up until now, indoor cameras were allowed in common areas like living rooms and hallways as long as they were clearly visible and were disclosed beforehand. The policy goes into effect April 30th. Jason Blair, NTD News.
The Oakland Athletics and their design teams unveiled the renderings of the club's proposed stadium in Las Vegas. NTD's Christina Corona gives us more details of the new ballpark.
The Oakland A's released renderings of the proposed $1.5 billion stadium in Las Vegas on Tuesday. The renderings depict a structure of 5 overlapping layers, similar to the iconic design of the Sydney Opera House in Australia. The Athletics aim to move into the 33,000-seat domed stadium by 2028, pending primarily on the construction timeline. A glass window positioned beyond the outfield provides an outdoor feel with views of the Las Vegas Strip. It will also include an 18,000 square foot video board, which would be the largest in Major League Baseball. The stadium will occupy 9 acres of the 35-acre property owned by Bally's at the intersection of Tropicana Avenue and Las Vegas Boulevard. The current Tropicana Resort will be torn down to accommodate the stadium and a hotel. The Tropicana Resort will close its doors for good on April 2nd. Christina Corona, NTD News.
A small act of kindness can go a long way. NTD's BJ King hears from a group of people recognized for their commitment to helping others.
What you see before you now is a room full of entrepreneurs, veterans, doctors, and other passionate individuals who have committed their hearts and hands to help others. They've gathered to receive the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's for entrepreneurs who have done amazing things in the community to give back, and it was really to recognize them.
I think this was really to let people know that they're recognized, that we can see what people are doing. And a lot of them are knights just like we are.
Although all the guests being honored have given 5,000 hours in servicing their communities, nominations for the award requires thorough examination by an official, where they take a deep look into the candidate's soul.
Watch the interactions, watch the character traits, watch the things that people do without anybody looking, because I'm off just watching, simply that.
Many who share their stories and tales of inspiration with us explain why they lead the lives they've chosen.
I was also a national handbag designer. My bags featured all over the world. I gave bags to women. I helped women look beautiful. I reminded them that they were valuable.
I've been abused when I was a kid. Severely, I had all kind of abuse. And I really wanted a solution for mental health. So, and through lots of research, basically, I finally found a solution for myself. Now it's my time to give back, especially for people who can't help themselves.
Many of the recipients were surprised at the news of their own nomination.
You know, my first reaction was, is that show Pranked still on? Are they looking for a new person to get? But this made me tear up as well.
I was shocked. You know, I work hard for people. I love people. I have unconditional love to everybody. And, you know, you just think about helping people.
After hearing a multitude of stories from those who dedicated their lives in the service of others, they all proclaimed the same belief, that the capability to help others is within us all. And they ask, what will you do for those around you? BJ King, NTD News, Ontario, California.
Stay tuned for China in Focus with Tiffany Meyer coming up next. Ending more China news, where does China's war-fighting capability actually stand? A remark from a top Chinese military officer is raising questions on the issue. Tune in at 9:30 p.m. on NTD's China in Focus with Tiffany Meyer. And that's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on NTD Tonight every weekday at 9 p.m. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.